Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs from GundamReviews.net, and I couldn't be happier to have you here for my review of episode 16 of Gundam Age, which is significant for the simple reason that we have, for the first time in Gundam, an official generation skip where the old protagonist, Flit, has been replaced by his son, Asim, and it's pretty exciting to see how they handle that transition. I'm going to have a new review format for this, for the beginning anyway. I'm going to be focusing on the bests. I'm talking about the mobile seat, characters, scene, and the best line, and then some thoughts and overall comments at the end. But anyway, let's get this show on the road. In terms of what I thought of the best character for the episode, I hate to cheap out already, but I'm going to go with a tie, because for the first 15 minutes, I have to say that this whole show belonged to Flit. I was wondering if Asim was ever going to get a word in edgewise, because we got to see how much Flit has changed, or really how much he hasn't. Instead of the carefree young kid that he used to be, now he's just a driven monster in charge of pretty much everything, it looks like. But at the same time, he still obviously cares about his family. You wonder how much at the beginning, although the flashbacks seem to show more. Now, how much of this is true love and concern? I'm sure there's a lot of that thrown in. And how much of this is drive to get his son to take on the fighting spirit and the mantle of Gundam Savior? It remains to be seen. But anyway, Flit, I thought they handled it really well, and a great seiyuu. He had a completely unexpected voice, but anyway, pleasantly surprising. However, for the second half of the episode, and they handled this well because they make you think it, Asim, I thought, came across as being a great protagonist. He's going to end up meeting his wife, I'm assuming, in the same way that Flit was going to meet Yurin, or La Latifa Yurin soon earlier on. I hope that she has better luck. And anyway, you can see from his desire to win the mobile suit competition that they're having at school that he's got that will to win. And when you get him inside the Gundam, obviously he used that to his advantage despite the fact that it was first time in. And he pulled it off, and you can see that he's still got that combination there. And you can see that there's going to be character conflict here between the fact that he's being driven into the military by his father, and at the same time, of course, he's going to have his own goals and ideas. But at the end, you can see that they will perhaps become one and the same. But it's very interesting because so many other Gundam protagonists have had an absent father or father issues and things like that, whereas Asim is going to have some of them, but not nearly the same complex as, say, somebody as Amuro has, and I look forward to seeing how they play out, so kudos to both of these guys for their strong first appearance. Well, first appearance and older appearance. Best mobile suit, well, I just sort of assumed going in that this was going to be the Age 2 that would steal the show, and let me tell you, the Genesis 2, it did nothing. Anyway, I gotta say that Age 1 was completely unexpected for me. I figured that the Age 2 would show up, and they'd be selling toys and models and everything else in between already, and instead, we get to see the Age 1 have a swan song, and a great swan song at that. You're not going to see the Titus and the Sparrow, they got their swan song in the end of the last episode, but to see Asim hop in here and bring it out of the barn was very surprising for me. I guess, you know, I hadn't seen the previews going in. It was fantastic to see it come out for one last blaze of glory, and I can only wonder if it's going to be used in the second episode, or if the Age 2 is going to show up. I can't see that they'd hold it off till episode 3. They've tried to do things like this in the past, like slow down the introduction of the Gundam, and they did it in Victory Gundam and Turn A and things like that. It usually doesn't work out well. However, here, with the transition, I thought that this served to really ground the whole series and keep old fans on board while still showing the transition in a positive light. So kudos for the Age 1 for getting that one last shot. Or is it his last shot? For best scene, I'm going to go with 2 again, which is sort of cheaping out again. But I thought it was really important, the handing over the Age device at the dinner table. And I just thought that the context that it was given to Asim, being so completely different from the way Flit received it, is going to be something that's just going to set these two characters apart in so many ways. Emily was there, and she was a non-factor in this episode, which will please some fans, although I'm curious to see what kind of relationship she developed with Flit, especially after learning about Yurin's existence. However, if you think about it, Flit got it from, what, his dying mother and an exploding colony as he lost his life, whereas Asim's living in a mansion, or something like that, with his father, who, though driven by work, is still able to come home for the big important days, and he still wants to protect him. So I think that the way he's brought up, and the way this whole thing was handed over, is just going to show how different their young lives have been, and you can sort of see, perhaps, why Flit has become the machine that he has. For best action scene, though, was there anything cooler than to see the Age 1 dual wielding, as even Vargas pointed out, in front of the girl, of course? And I thought that was just fantastic, the way that Asim handled the 2 blades and the 2 Eldorados that were in his face. Even Wolf was very impressed by that one. But if you want to talk about impressive debuts with the Genoese holding him down as he chops through the other Dorado using the arm of the first one that he dispatched, that is an impressive debut, Assam. And the best line of the episode has to be, "Stand Gundam." So now for some other impressions. I thought that the whole school feel of the episode was a little bit interesting and quite different from what we saw at the end anyway of the first generation. I'd have to go back and rewatch the first few episodes to see what the feeling was there, but I got sort of a Code Geass vibe, especially after that opening theme song. But anyway, we'll see how long he stays in school and how long it takes until that he gets homeschooled on a battleship fighting through space. In terms of some of the characters and surprises, I was really surprised that it wasn't Wolf's son. That's who I figured the white-haired kid was going to be the whole time. But dun dun dun, he appears to be a spy. Or is he? Or will he betray them? Or will he wear a mask? Anyway, there's all sorts of hints you can take from the opening, and it remains to be seen what kind of relationship that the two develop both at school and on the battlefield. Overall, though, I have to say that the most important thing of this episode was that they handled the transition very well from Flit to Assam. Character of the week, it went from Flit for the beginning, and so that's going to keep old people happy. Old people as in last week's fans happy. And yet they established Assam as somebody that you want to see what's going to happen to him next time. And when you look at the way they've handled these things in, let's say, OC Destiny, I think they did a very good job with the generation gap of keeping everybody happy. And overall, I've got to say that I'm really happy that the Age 2 did not debut. It's always sort of better. Of course, the marketing department's going to say, get it out there in that first episode so that everybody can be happy. They did that for V Gundam, and that didn't work at all. Anyway, it's good to see that the Age 1 got to shine. It makes more sense that that's going to be hidden behind, although I wonder how that works with Treasure Star in terms of continuity. Regardless, I like to see it, and I wonder if you did too. So remember, please, that this is just my opinion, so I'd love to hear yours with a comment down below, and if you're watching this on gundam.tk, where I post this as soon as it goes up on YouTube, remember you can just click on the video itself, go to YouTube, sign in, and comment there. I'd love to hear other people's reactions to both the episode and to the new generation, the mobile suits, and of course to this video itself. The format has changed. I'm going to stick with this for a while and see how it goes with the best. And then after that, of course, as there's more Age 2 models kicking around, I'm talking Generation 2, we'll see what happens. But anyway, that may just come out for big episodes, perhaps the finale. Then again, a few scenes may get recreated along the way. We'll see how it goes. So why don't you let me know? Love to hear from you. And stay tuned for next week, episode 17. I'm excited. I think they did a good job. And I want to see Driven Flit and Wants to Win Assam and how this is all going to play out with that mysterious white-haired sleeping for 100 years boy. And everybody, Robert184, thanks for watching. It's always appreciated. See you next week. Seriously, I mean, how did I not win Mobile Suit of the Week?